Since the Soviet Union sent its first Sputnik satellite into the sky in 1957, more than 14,000 satellites have been launched into orbit. Thousands of these incredible machines are currently zipping around our planet, providing us with crucial data, communication and navigation services. And every year, the numbers are increasing. What many people aren't aware of is that Australia was the third nation behind America and the USSR to launch its own satellite. That was in 1967 at Woomera. Now, despite being pioneers in space exploration, by the late 70s, Australia lost the ability to launch its own satellites.
It's unbelievable. In 2024, Australia does not have sovereign launch capability and must rely on other countries such as the US and India to launch its in-space technology.
April Walker is an engineer and one half of the team behind the push to build WA Spaceport, an ambitious project she and co-founder Aaron Cunningham have spent the last 4 years focusing on, which will take Australia out of the launch queue.
We've realised there's a lot of people trying to develop tech to get off the planet. And there's a lot of people trying to develop fancy rockets to get off the planet. But there's not actually many places that aren't government controlled for them to launch from. So what we've come up with is a commercial spaceport that's for everyone to use. Any private organisation or government organisation, if they're that way inclined, can come along and use the site, and that's how I've designed it, for everyone to use.
And in 2024, there are just a few barriers in the way before the West Australian Spaceport becomes a reality.
Our delivery and our funding strategy are complete. We have domestic and international launch providers ready to use the site. We are currently in our state government approvals process. Once all government approvals are cleared, Australia is go for launch in 12 months.
Guys, tell us about the location that you've chosen and why.
It is 30 kilometres east of the city of Albany.
It's a huge giant rock. There's nothing we can blow up there. It points directly south. It's quite a vast array of orbital inclinations we can take, so that gives us lots of places where the satellites can orbit the Earth.
We are aiming to cater for rapid response, commercial and research and development missions. So we need to be close to the Albany airport, seaport, major road arterial accommodation, and we are a 4-hour drive south from Perth.
And the local community is eagerly awaiting the first launch. So when you found out that Albany was a proposed launch site for satellites, what was the reaction of the town?
Council and the town were very excited. This was proposed or mooted 2 or 3 years ago. We hadn't heard much and thought it might have gone away, but from a tourism, economic, jobs and skills point of view, wow, this may actually happen.
So what will it bring to the town if it goes ahead?
Well, it'll bring global significance, I think. You know, if you've got a satellite launching pad, people will want to go and watch it. And the spin-off effect of that, for every dollar that you create, goes around 20 times. So there are formulas for it. So around $30 or $40 million
a year
per annum.
Are there any concerns at all?
There are no concerns. I mean, there are obviously there will be things to go through with the environmental issues and regulatory approvals. But I'm sure that, you know, with the uniqueness of what we're doing, you can get through those hurdles pretty easily.
The pair's mission doesn't stop at building the launch site. Thanks to April's determination, Australia is now the only nation outside of America to produce RP1, a common launch vehicle fuel used globally.
We need to compete against 80 planned and operational launch facilities globally. So to build competitive advantage, we needed to be able to provide all the common rocket fuel types, one of which is RP1. It's a kerosene-based fuel. It's been used for launch since the 1960s, and previously it was only produced in the US, and now Australia is the only country outside of the US to produce this rocket fuel.
Without being too specific, WA Spaceport. And I can't tell you how exciting it is to know how close we are to actually launching satellites from WA's Great Southern.